Very special telecast today. I have Miss Chrissy Howser in studio with me to share her story because September, we always hear about October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but September gets looked over a lot of times.
A whole lot.
What's special about September?
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
And we want everyone to know this and to go gold for all the small fighters.
So why do you think that, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month doesn't get much publicity as, breast cancer awareness? And
I think the main reason, many people don't know that kids get cancer too. I was living proof of that. And then in my case, it was my baby, There's nothing that can prepare you to find out that your child has cancer. And even more, the average age for cancer is 6 years old. This happened to my 3-week-old. So I just want everyone to know that babies get cancer too, and they need love and colors and walks and shout outs, and that's why I'm here.
I got Chrissy Howser in studio with me as we talk about Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And you were saying this is very personal to you because your youngest child.
Yes. My only boy, my baby, was diagnosed with high-risk acute lymphoblastic leukemia at 3 weeks. And that was hard for my family. We couldn't prepare for that. I went all summer trying to duck out mosquitoes for Zika virus, and then I get hit with a cancer diagnosis.
How did you find out he had cancer?
It was his 3-week checkup. Just an average appointment. He wasn't sick. He was the cutest little baby ever. We took him to his regular pediatrician. Shout out to her, because had her office not developed a 3-week checkup, because it's usually 4 weeks, my son wouldn't be here. We went to an appointment. She did her physical, and she felt a mass in his belly. And I could just tell by the look on her face that it was something, because she said, "I need you to take him to the emergency right now." Not Sinai, but John Hopkins. And when I heard that, I knew it was something. I had never even visited John Hopkins. I just knew that we couldn't go to our local hospital. She wanted us to go to a children's hospital. This has to be serious.
And you being a mom of 3, never any serious sickness, and we talk about this off air, your life kind of changed.
My life changed completely.
In what ways?
Like you said, no sicknesses. I have 2 healthy girls. We come from a healthy family. I've never dealt with anything. My children have never even been in a hospital overnight, been admitted, nothing, no flu, like nothing. So it was a nightmare. Like, it takes me back to that day. We were sitting in the emergency room, my husband and myself, and no one could tell us what was going on. And I just looked at my husband and I said, "This isn't going to be good. We've been here all day." And as the time went on, it was no more scrubs. It was white lab coats. And, they were like, we're going to find out what's going on. And one particular nurse, she came in and she said, "We just want to rule out everything, and we want to make sure it's not, cancer or something." And I think I completely lost it at that point. I said, "There's no way, cancer. He's 3 weeks old. I haven't even, everyone hasn't even met him yet, and you're coming in here telling me cancer." And she touched me and she said, "I'm going to be praying for you all." And at that point, I knew they know, they're just easing it on that, this isn't going to be good. And so we got the diagnosis. They said, we need to start chemotherapy immediately. And I'm like, chemo? Like, I just knew that chemo was something that ultimately killed you. That's all I knew. I was so blind to this. And especially with my son, my baby, I didn't prepare for this. So that was a pill to swallow. I'm still swallowing it. You know, we're only 9 months into this thing. And I just, taking me back to that day, it's painful. This is actually the first time that I've talked about it publicly to anyone. Most people don't know how the diagnosis came about, and like, this is the first time. So just taking me back and reliving that is hard. Still hard.
Talking about Childhood Cancer Awareness Month with Chrissy Howser. As you were going through this, you know, you have your own business, you're trying to get your 2 girls in school and everything, in summer, family and friends, your husband who works all the time. As you were going through this, what was the one thing or a few things that helped keep you sane?
Prayer. And you know, I've always prayed before. You know, you say your prayers before you go to bed, but you never really ask for anything. You just kind of say your prayers because that's what we were raised to do, to pray. But it came to a point where I had to start believing what I was asking for, and believing that my son was going to be healed, and trusting these doctors who, you know, I've never met these people. You know, I have several people in and out of my son's room. The fact that they told us, if he make it through this night, we can get him to a better space. But it was if, you know, that night he had a blood transfusion. I've never even known anything about this whole world, where literally every 5 minutes a nurse was at his bedside and had to draw out the blood with cancer and give him someone else's blood. That was hard to watch. Over 12 hours, every 5 minutes, taking the infectious blood and giving him clean blood just so he could live. I learned at that point, like, I need to believe what I'm praying and what I'm asking, and when I'm in the shower. And, you know, it was hard to try to stay strong, you know, for my kids, my other children, who don't really know everything, but they know a lot. You know, being there for my husband and managing being at the hospital, living at the hospital and away from my family. It's like, how do you choose which child needs you more?
Right. As we talk about Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, you explained that your son, you know, was diagnosed with leukemia.
High risk acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
But by the grace of God,
only
he's healed
God,
now.
He's here. Yep.
And we talked about this before at JHU. You said a lot of kids don't get a lot of visitors there.
Yeah. So my family dynamic was, I don't want to say it was perfect for what we had to deal with, but I'm a business owner, so it allowed me a lot of flexibility. If I wanted to say, hey, I'm shut down, I got to focus on my family, which was pretty much what I did. But I allowed my staff, shout out to my staff who really held my business down. You know, it allowed me that freedom to be there 24/7 because there are parents there who have to juggle going to work and going to care for the other single moms, you know, who, and then, you know, they have to juggle home and they don't have the support. They weren't blessed, you know, enough. I had a husband at home. I had sisters. I had my mom, you know, I had friends who everyone just pulled together, this village for us. And so a lot of the kids there throughout the day, they're alone.
Wow.
You know, and the hospital's great. The child life staff, amazing. They were actually the ones who explained everything to my daughters in a language that they would understand, using jelly beans, actually. So the child life staff at Johns Hopkins is amazing. I can't thank them enough. But, you know, it's nothing like having your parent there. So we were blessed that I was able to be there. My son was never alone. Never, ever. Cancer
each month has their own color. What's the color for cancer? For childhood
cancer, yes. It's gold.
Okay.
Go gold.
Why gold? Do you know?
Because it's fabulous, I guess.
Okay. What are the ways that, I guess, someone can help a child with cancer?
There are several ways. Do you mean like organizations
or even just regular everyday people?
Okay, regular everyday people. I can tell you firsthand from a mom dealing with a child with cancer. If that mom has other children, help her out with those other children.
Okay.
She could have a village, but I think my children were affected a lot more, just with mommy being taken away, them feeling left out. You know, why is all of this attention now on the child with cancer? Because that's the need right now. So making the children feel special is like so important. And that's why I just give so much praise to Johns Hopkins and their child life staff, because the things that they provided my children with. My son was diagnosed 2 weeks before Christmas. I hadn't finished Christmas shopping. They took me into a room filled from ceiling to floor with gifts, and I could shop not only for Colin, but I could shop for Charlie. I could shop for Chloe. There were so many wonderful organizations who came in and gave care packages for my husband, for myself. So they really do a lot to make sure everyone is remembered. So if you're looking for somewhere to donate during Christmas time, the Child Life staff, the Child Life Department of Johns Hopkins Oncology Unit, they have a wish list on their website, things that the children need. And firsthand, I've seen it. They need it. They give so much to the children who are patients, so much for the families. Donation-wise, organizations, I think focusing on organizations who fund research, because childhood cancer, the medicines are so under researched. There's been less than 10 new medications for children fighting cancer since the 80s. A lot of the times the children who are battling cancer, they're treated with the same drugs that adults are treated with. So there are no set drugs for children. And then for my baby, everything had to be tip top what it was. He was 3 weeks. So, organizations that fund research, a favorite of mine, St. Baldrick's, they have an event every year where you can shave your head and donate. You don't have to shave your head to donate, but if you're inclined to,
Why are you looking at me?
shave the locks and donate. It's for a good cause. They funded groundbreaking a therapy that will allow children to be treated without chemotherapy. And that's amazing. You can Google more about that, CAR T-cell therapy.
What advice would you give to another mother or family that's going through what you just went through?
Don't give up hope. It's so easy in this world to lose it. And I'm not going to sit here like this whole 9 months have been positive for me. There have been days where I didn't feel like fighting. I didn't feel like doing it. I felt like everything that I was doing, why am I doing it? They can't tell me if this will work. We actually have fought 2 times within this, because we fought and then we had to fight again, and then my son was given a transplant and cured. So just don't give up hope. Keep, whatever your faith is, look up to a higher power and just remain positive.